Well, welcome to the channel where we give the answers to the questions that homeowners going through foreclosure in North Carolina want to know. You know, foreclosure can feel overwhelming, but it doesn't mean that home ownership is, out of reach forever. In North Carolina, buying a home after foreclosure, it's possible, though it often requires some patience and careful financial planning and sometimes some creative thinking. Traditional lenders make waiting periods and credit repair as a priority, so that journey may take some time, but it's absolutely achievable. Now, understanding the requirements for a conventional loan and regularly checking your credit reports for errors are crucial steps in this process. For many, this becomes a second chance to build stability and to reclaim the dream of owning a home. When discussing how hard it is to buy a home after going through foreclosure, it's essential to understand the process and its ripple effects. You know, foreclosure, it doesn't just mean you're losing your home. It affects your credit, your financial stability, and worst of all, it often your confidence as a homeowner. Now, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac are government-sponsored enterprises that buy mortgages from lenders that you would typically go to get a mortgage. So they set the standards for what they will buy from lenders. And that means their standards are what the conventional mortgage industry goes by. They impose a mandatory waiting period for obtaining loans after foreclosure. Foreclosure leaves a significant scar on your credit report, staying there for up to 7 years. You know, the dramatic drop in your credit score can place you in a category where loan approval, especially mortgages, becomes really tougher. You know, most lenders view foreclosure as a red flag that indicates financial instability. But the situation isn't permanent, because over time, the weight of foreclosure on your credit score, it lessens. And by taking steps like keeping existing accounts in good standing and maintaining low credit usage and paying off debt, you know what, you can build your credit and eventually qualify for a mortgage again. Buying a home after going through foreclosure, it's absolutely possible, but the road, it's not necessarily easy. It does have its own twists and turns. Now, in North Carolina, there are specific laws, waiting periods for mortgages, and the tasks of rebuilding your credit create hurdles. Here's what you need to know about overcoming these challenges. After foreclosure, lenders impose specific waiting periods before you can qualify for a new loan. And these timelines depend on the type of mortgage that you're pursuing. For example, an FHA loan, generally you'll be facing 3 years waiting time after the foreclosure. Now, a VA loan, veterans and active military members, they might be able to qualify for a V loan after 2 years after the foreclosure. Conventional loans, you're going to typically be required to wait 7 long years. And then there's USDA loans, and that waiting period after foreclosure, you know, it's typically around 3 years. You know, many people assume that those waiting periods that we just discussed, they apply for everything across the board, and there's no other options. For instance, but that's not true, because for instance, there are some private lenders who would consider offering you financing even when you don't meet the same credit criteria or the financial timing of a conventional loan. You know, foreclosures in North Carolina are unique, and these state-specific regulations, they matter when planning your home ownership post-foreclosure. For instance, in North Carolina, lenders follow both federal and state guidelines to assess creditworthiness. So, after foreclosure, your information may be flagged in the Credit Alert Verification Reporting System, which could make it tougher to qualify for federally backed loans. Now, if foreclosures involved unpaid property taxes, this may further complicate your ability to restore financial stability, because in North Carolina, local government can impose tax liens, which can further delay those looking to get back on their feet financially. You know, after foreclosure, rebuilding your path to home ownership, and it really feels daunting. But with the right strategy, it's completely possible. Breaking it into smaller, manageable goals, it really can keep you on track. So I want to give you some strategies to help you overcome these challenges and to help move you one step closer to owning a home again in North Carolina. Your credit score is one of the biggest hurdles after foreclosure. It's the first thing that lenders look at, and often it's a deterrent to loan approval. But with intentional actions, you can repair the damage. You want to start by reviewing your credit report, looking for errors or outdated information. Small mistakes can be found, like missed payments or shown inaccurately, or you can lower your score even more. Dispute these errors through the major credit bureaus. Now you want to focus on paying down debts. High credit utilization, it really makes lenders nervous. So you want to prioritize paying off debts. You want to start with the highest interest accounts to improve your debt to income ratio quicker. You want to use credit responsibly, but you might consider applying for a secured credit card or a credit builder loan that can help you to establish a positive payment habit and history. But you want to keep your balances low, and you want to pay off fully all your credit obligations each month. Small wins will win big trust with lenders. Stay consistent, rebuilding credit. It's not a sprint; it's a marathon. So even minimal improvements each month add up over time, slowly pushing your score upward. Now, each of these steps strengthen your financial credibility, proving to lenders that your foreclosure was a temporary setback and not a permanent problem. When you're ready to buy a home again, having a solid down payment is essential. Lenders expect a financial commitment from the buyer, especially when there's been a foreclosure in your history, because that really demonstrates that you have stabilized financially and you're responsible. So here's some ideas about what you might do to save. First of all, you want to set some savings goals. You want to know how much you're going to need to buy your next home. You're going to need a down payment. A down payment is usually 3.5% to 20% of the purchase price, depending on the type of mortgage you're getting. And then there's going to be closing costs. You can estimate that to be 2 to 5%. Create a written plan with a target deadline. You want to simplify your expenses where possible. Consider cutting everything that's unnecessary, like extra subscriptions and eating out less, and adjusting maybe some of the big costly expenses. Maybe you need to find a way to reduce those big expenses like transportation. And what you want to do is you want to redirect everywhere you find you save money or make money. You want to direct that directly into a house savings account. Automate your savings. Set it up on automatic transfers to savings account specifically for your home purchase. This creates a consistent progress even in those months when you feel like things are pretty financially tight. You want to look for extra income opportunities, side jobs, selling items that are used that you're not putting to use, maybe creating a side hustle. All these things can speed up the timeline substantially. This process is similar to a gardener who takes a seed and plants it in the garden. And at first, that little seed's in the ground. Very slow progress. When is that seed going to come up? What's going on under there? But with steady effort and attention, it can flourish into something valuable and produce wonderful fruits and vegetables. You can do that with your savings also. And when navigating this post-foreclosure period, homeowners, you ought to tap into the resources of people with an expertise. Their experience and knowledge can help you avoid pitfalls and really optimize your chances of qualifying for a mortgage. Credit counselors, these are professionals. They can help you create a customized plan to tackle your debt, improve your credit score, and and prepare financially for home ownership. Many of them are nonprofits, so they're very low cost, if any at all. Real estate agents, or if you find a real estate agent that has experience with foreclosure recovery, and they can ensure that you're guided towards properties that match your budget and your financial goals. They can also help provide insight into local market trends, and especially here in North Carolina. And here's a big one. Mortgage lenders, the people you go to to get your loans originally, they're dealing with people that have credit issues all the time. They're mortgage experts. They specialize in working with buyers after foreclosures. And they know the right programs to target, whether it be an FHA or a VA or a private financing option. They'll also guide you through the paperwork and the approval process. That makes it a lot less stressful. When you want to think of these professionals as maybe your team captains in the home buying process, lean on their experience. They can help you overcome obstacles that you might not really be equipped to do on your own. All of us cannot be experts in everything. Each step, whether rebuilding credit, saving intentionally, seeking help, all of it gets you closer to your goal by focusing on small, actionable steps. And you're going to position yourself to buy a home in North Carolina despite the challenges caused by foreclosure. Now, if you desire to move into a home and be a homeowner again quicker than what the traditional government-backed lending methods will allow, then you'll be glad to know that there are investors and possible landlords which will work with you to meet your desire of home ownership. So here's some of the ways that you can explore that don't require that your credit be completely restored. The first one is a rent-to-own agreement. And how that works is rent-to-own agreements offer a unique approach to purchasing a home, blending like